Hey Taurus, how have you been? I apologize for the delay in this reading. I am in the middle of a move and I know that you know how stressful that can be. So I've been doing readings not when I can, because if I'm not feeling the vibe, I'm not going to do it. It's a waste of energy for the both of us. So I'm only going to do a reading if I'm feeling it. My energy's on point, and I've been doing them as I feel the need to give a message to a specific sign. Tonight, I got very strongly that Taurus needed to hear something. So I made sure to make time to deliver this message. And what's interesting is I usually will do 4 cards for your present situation, and then we close off with 2 cards for energy coming towards you or who's coming towards you. So as I was doing your present, I got 2 extra cards that came out. As I was pulling the 2 for your future energy and what to look forward to, I had a bunch of cards come out. And, I am not, for the sake of trying to cut back on time, gonna say, oh, those weren't meant to come. I'm going to keep shuffling. These very forcefully came out, so I am taking it as you need to hear it. And this is going to be an extended reading, and I just feel like definitely, and as I'm looking at the cards, there's strong messages happening here that a lot of you need to hear. So let's get started. I'm going to go through each card briefly, explain to you the meanings, and then we're going to weave together, I'm going to weave together what I'm feeling like is going on for you, Taurus. Okay, so our first card we have is the Moon upright, and this signifies anxiety, illusion, or insecurity. Not one of my favorite cards. We have the Devil card, indicating basically lust, sinfulness, materialism. Also can indicate some kind of S&M going on in your relationship. Some kind of fantasy that has to do with sex basically being fulfilled. Then we have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands says that you are really trying to hold your ground despite challenges to your authority. King of Chalices in reverse. This says that somebody is being emotionally manipulated. The relationship is volatile. Someone's playing with the other one's emotions. And that one is in reverse. Then we have the Two of Wands. And here we touch on planning, the future, progress, discovery of oneself. So together, I am thinking that you are in a relationship, or we're in a relationship, where it was one-sided. One person sees it as a sex kind of a thing, or is using the other for sex. The other one is emotionally invested. The Seven of Wands lets me know that you or your partner really try to make this work, only to be met by challenges and by somebody putting a wall up constantly. I feel like with this Devil card, one of you was very into either material things, beautiful things. Somebody could have had an affair because of the lust for beautiful things, the need to have a lot of sex, to have maybe some kind of more of their freaky desires met. Maybe the other person wasn't down to do that or down to meet them, or even, I mean, maybe they didn't, or you didn't have knowledge that they were into this kind of a thing. Who knows? Okay, but there is a strong one-sidedness in the relationship. The Moon card, I'm feeling like whoever is not this person is feeling very anxious, feeling, especially with this King of Chalices in reverse here, somebody is like emotionally mind effed. They are like drained. What's going on? Questioning their sanity. Very invested in the relationship. It's not being returned. And it's kind of like abuse, if you will. Like emotional abuse is the vibe I'm getting. A lot of anxiety is coming up from this relationship. Like I feel like one of you, and I'm feeling like it was probably you, Taurus, was treated like shit. And used and abused. And that's why we're getting this anxiety, an air of illusion that something is what it really isn't, and insecurity. I feel like, Taurians are really known to be strong and secure, and if there's any insecurity happening, it is because of this situation. I feel a lot of sadness. Like I feel like you really want this to work, but I'm not with this alone. I'm feeling like it's unhealthy for it to work for you, Taurus. You're losing yourself, and it's one-sided. You're being used for something, either money, sex, and I don't like that. I do not like that. That's a heavy spread. All right, so going into what to expect in the future, what you're going toward, what's gravitating toward you in this very moment. Of course, this can change if you deviate from the path that you're on now. But I'm feeling like this is really strongly needing to be told to you because it is happening already. So our first card we have is the Judgment card. Try to get the glare off of there. Judgment. This is signifying an inner calling, a rebirth, judgment, judging yourself and your situation and making the changes needed. Excuse me. Next, we have the Death in Reverse card. Another card I don't like to see. Upside or downside, whichever way, upright, downright, I don't like to see it. But here we have it. And this signifies, in reverse, delayed endings, depression. Sometimes it could signify an illness, but I don't feel like that's the case for you. This is more along the lines of resisting change, kind of holding on to the past. Next up is the Five of Wands in reverse. I like this card. This card says to me, so instead of the calm before the storm, this card is the calm after the storm. You've been through hell. and now you're having a moment of clarity. This is like security in a relationship, finally, after a lot of tumultuous times. This is a lot of calmness when it's in reverse, and I like to see that one. Nine of Swords, another anxiety and depression card. You can tell because she's like weeping or sad. That's pretty indicative of what it is. Chariot. Yet another card you have for determination and victory. Good to have in your future. Also, this can say that you're going to be more assertive in nature, whereas you haven't been as you need to be before. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Signifies feeling stuck or being lazy, not taking initiative. And lastly, for the cards that you were meant to see because they just came flying at me so aggressively, the Ace of Wands. This is telling us there is inspiration, there is power, and this is new beginnings. Together. So I'm feeling like those of you who choose to leave this relationship are going to have a rebirth with the Judgment card. Your inner calling, a rebirth. You're going to find that love that you are missing out on up here. For those of you that choose to stay, delayed endings. Depression, that depression that we saw up here is going to continue to happen for you if you choose to stay, and the offending partner doesn't change their ways. With the Five of Swords, I feel like you're going to be more secure. That is coming towards you. Whether you stay in the relationship or not, you're going to have a sense of security in yourself. That low self-esteem or self-confidence is going to return in some way, shape, or form. You know, if you choose to stay, maybe you are going to draw a line in the sand and be like, this is how it has to be, or I'm going to leave. And you're pumping yourself up, and they're believing you because you're going to follow through. You know, the best thing you can do in a situation like that is to follow through. If you make a bunch of empty threats, they're never going to take you seriously, and they're never going to change. But know that if you're worth it, and if they really love you, they will change. The Nine of Swords. I feel like it's tying in with the Death in reverse here. And then the card that we saw up here with the Moon, signifying that anxiety is not going to let up unless something big changes for you, Taurus. You got more anxiety and depression coming your way unless you make some major changes in your life. With the Chariot, I feel like, and especially in correspondence with the Ace of Wands, control, assertion. Maybe you're going to assert this situation and take control of it. Like we were just talking about, laying down the basis for which you are not going to put up with any more bullshit, and what you will accept and what you won't. And this one is that inspiration and new beginnings and gaining power finally. So you have that in you to demand what you need, Taurus. For those of you that are going to leave the relationship, this is about taking back you, working on yourself, and when that next relationship comes along, you are reborn and have clarity as to what a good person you are, Taurus, and what you want in the relationship. You're not going to be bogged down by this. This tells me it's going to be from a new, clear, open perspective. The baggage isn't going to be there. The problem lies with this card of staying with this person and feeling lazy, feeling stuck, not sure how to get out of a relationship. Have you ever been in that situation before where you feel like you don't know how to leave? You don't know how to put one foot in front of the other? Because I think we can either say that we've been there or we know somebody who has, and it is the hardest thing in the world to make the decision to walk away or to stay. And I see that happening for you. But I also see a lot of confidence and power brewing in you, Taurus. And I think that you can use that to your benefit. You've got all the tools here. I just see you, some of you, getting drawn back into this. But for those of you that could make it out, there is a whole new rebirth for you, and you will find yourselves again, letting go of that negative, draining energy that you've been dealing with, and that's somebody that has been using you. You're worth so much more, Taurus, so much more. So that was your extended April reading, Taurus. I'm going to go ahead and clear these up, and I'm going to do your goddess reading, which can provide some insight if you still feel like you need some guidance along the way, maybe something you need to hear to get a little push in the right direction. So I'm going to shuffle, ask for goddess to come through for our dear Taurus friends. What goddess needs to come through for Taurus for this month in April and on into May? What goddess needs to come through for Taurus? What do they need to hear? What guidance do they need to receive? I'm going to do all three. You guys are just getting all the cards tonight. I love it. There's a lot of energy happening with you guys. So we have the goddess of Cordelia, which tells us that you have been inside for too long, Taurus. Go outside and get some fresh air. Find yourself again. Sarasvati. Explore yourself through creative activities. Another way to find yourself, quite possibly, doing something you love or just reaching into that creative side of things. It helps tremendously with spiritual growth, I will tell you. Lastly, we have the goddess of Aphrodite, which is pretty self-explanatory. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. That is great, Taurus. Because I think we talked about it a little bit, and you needing to get that confidence back. Take care of yourself. Take yourself shopping. Get your hair done. Get a massage. Exercise. Do whatever it is that's going to make you feel like the goddess that you are. So here are your three, which I feel like tie in perfectly to what we touched on. You got it in you. You just need to get outside and explore your creative side. Find yourself again, Taurus, and a whole new world is going to open up for you. If this resonated for you, leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonated for you. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I love to read your guys' comments. It keeps me motivated to keep putting out these videos. And if it didn't resonate with you, do check out your moon sign or rising sign. I want to try to get the rest up as soon as I can. Like I said, when I feel the energy and the calling to do one, I'm going to just stop packing boxes and do them. So with that being said, I will see you next month, Taurus. Take care. Bye-bye.